The other thing I thought if you could touch on, I've heard from our Los Angeles International Airport, which is where one case was documented, on some of the employees that might be at LAX that may not have health benefits. Is there a way we can help give them vaccinations? And maybe just what our residents should be doing right now to prevent getting the measles. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, supervisors and chairperson John. Happy to talk and have an opportunity to provide some information to the general public. There are three pieces of our strategy for trying to contain an outbreak. In this case, we're very worried about measles. As was noted in the motion, thank you, Supervisor Solis, measles is highly contagious. As a matter of fact, 90% of folks who are not immunized, if they come in contact with somebody who has measles, will develop measles. That's highly contagious. The first strategy that we use is what we call contact tracing. So as soon as we are notified that there is a case of measles in the county, our entire team gets to work trying to identify where that person was 4 days preceding their coming down with symptoms, so that we can actually establish who may have come in contact with that person while that person was infectious and contagious. So we have 5 confirmed cases, and just to understand the magnitude of contact tracing, there's over 1,500 folks that we know were exposed. And again, obviously, we will try to get to as many of those folks as possible, but also use, 2 of the cases actually presented at our colleges and universities, so we'll be working with those administrations to get the word out to those students. People show up in emergency rooms, doctor's offices, and urgent care centers, not knowing they feel sick, not knowing what it is, and then proceed to expose people in those settings. So you can see a few hundreds of people were exposed in clinical settings, and we will work with those providers and hospital systems to make sure all of those folks are contacted and verified, their immune status is verified, whether or not they've been immunized, whether they have immunity to measles because they had the measles, and if not, they're offered some options. If folks are in fact not immunized and they've been exposed to somebody who has measles, we'll be asking them to stay home for 21 days to make sure that they don't inadvertently pass along measles as well, given how highly contagious this is. We're also working a lot with our providers. We haven't had a lot of measles, so a lot of physicians haven't seen measles rashes. So we're doing a massive outreach campaign so that doctors will quickly diagnose. If you look at some of the patient histories, you'll see people went in, saw their doctor, weren't diagnosed correctly, then went back a few days later. So we obviously have to make sure providers are well aware of what measles looks like, what to do when they've diagnosed measles, and also now we're asking folks to make sure that at the very front of their offices or their emergency rooms are posting signs so that people with a rash and a fever do not walk in and expose a whole bunch of other people who may be very vulnerable. And the third thing is community-wide outreach. Immunization is the protection against measles. It's highly effective. If you've had 2 doses of the measles vaccine, that offers you 97% coverage for not getting the measles. So this is a very effective vaccine. Schools, in fact, are required to not allow young children to come into their buildings and attend school if they're not vaccinated. Colleges and universities, as of last year, also have a requirement that folks are vaccinated against measles. Measles vaccine, right now, there is absolutely no shortage. You can get a measles vaccine at a doctor's office, a local pharmacy, a health clinic. The public health clinics, all 14 of our clinics, will offer free vaccination to folks who are uninsured or underinsured. So anybody who is worried about whether or not they've been vaccinated ought to avail themselves first of their own physicians or clinicians to find out if they in fact already have been vaccinated, and then if they can't establish that they've been vaccinated, for adults we would recommend the 2 doses, 1 dose now and 1 dose 4 weeks from now.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and maybe in some way we can reach out to the Executive Director of LAX and make sure that she knows that for some of the workers there. And I know we also heard from UCLA, Cal State LA, same kind of question. So maybe we can reach out.
We are.
Okay,
We've already spoken with LAX, and we're making sure that they understand for their workers, which are about 7,000, they're covered, and that they'll make sure that other folks know if they don't have insurance to come to our clinic.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, it's really, I think, very important for us to stress how contagious this is, because in the reports I read in the news media, there were also some restaurant workers and potentially customers, as well as the fact that there may be students at Cal State LA that I know may not have any form of insurance and can't go out and seek a vaccination. Maybe we can put up shop there and allow for that to happen.
Yeah.
And really get out there and put it out in multicultural, multilingual CSAs and whatever it is we have to do. I know you're fully aware of all that.
Yeah, we're working really hard. I mean, I do think what our main message is there's measles everywhere right now. So this is, if you're traveling internationally, there are outbreaks in so many countries around the world. There's a huge outbreak in New York. There's an outbreak in Northern California. We have measles everywhere. So people should know, if you really want to take care of yourself, find out your status now, make sure you're fully vaccinated. High-risk groups, college students, students in schools, and folks who are doing travel.
So if you have vaccinations last for life?
They last for life.
Child,
2 doses, immune for life.
Great.
As far as we know.
Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, now it's appropriate to have members of the public address the board on items of interest that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Will the following individuals please come forward, and staff will assist you. We'll start with Erica Hawkins in Lancaster, followed by Andrea McPherson, Anisha Longoria, Antonia Ramirez, Arnold Sachs, Carla DePaz, Chris Cusack, Christina Torres, Connie McLean, Demetria Safori, Eric Holder, Eric Previn, George Cassetti, Hector Cueto, Helga Rodriguez, and Herman. Please come forward and staff will assist you.
Thank you. I think we have about 33 people signed up, so you at least get 1 minute.
Yep. It's always that way.
For Lancaster.
Oh, Lancaster. Welcome, Lancaster.
Welcome, thank you. I feel like I'm part of you. You're a part of me, so, wherever I am, we're on the same page. Consequently, a lot of people who are working hard in there don't know what it's like to be in a different world, but not quote-unquote different world. I am angry because, number one, there is too much violence in the foster care system. There are various people that I personally don't know, but they are practicing a lot of irrational type of movements for young folks, young people who are very intelligent. I had the opportunity through the Lancaster, that's something positive, to go into the rooms or the houses and help out. And then blind I worked with, which is very nice, very interesting person he was. And
Thank you very much, Lancaster.
Twins.
We have to go. Thank you. Next
The
speaker,
point is
please.
that we're mistreating, and we're doing it to the point where we don't realize it, and I've done it. So as a result,
Next speaker, please. Oh, okay, we will restore your minute.
It's Eric Previn from Studio City in the 3rd District. And I would just like to say that the sheriff and the county board of supervisors...
You know what, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but where your mic is not on, and I noticed. Okay, start his time over, unfortunately.
Hello, yes.
Okay, here we go.
So it's Eric Previn from Studio City in the 3rd District. And I just want to say that the county sheriff and the county board of supervisors appear to be a bit of a snit. And that makes the public uncomfortable. But I don't know that we're worried about, the way public services are being. Yesterday there was a closed session. It was a little bit weird because we read later at 6 p.m. that actually the county council has been somehow threatened on the telephone, which was scary. And of course, that's a law enforcement thing. So now more than ever we need to work together. But The other question is, could you get the sheriff to provide a copy of the post-mental health training video and his fiscal status report, because it's never come forward? And finally, the use of force manual, because I feel like these are the things you should be focusing on, not his labor issues, which he's going to have to work out and bring forward. And the public is not going to accept any kind of horrible bad guys in the midst. That's not going to work. So you don't need to be in a pitched battle, because it makes us all look terrible. So I would say, let's move forward together. And
Thank you.
picnic.
Next speaker, please.
Joe, Herman, the LA Times, and what do they say? Why do we plan to censor and have people punished for exercising First Amendment? Why does the LA County continue with wicked Wickham counsel to deny us public speech? Is she afraid that we can outspeak her under 42 U.S.C. 1983? Is she afraid that we're going to interpret 42 U.S.C. 121.01 on our part? Well, here's the story, folks. The story is this. The five kings don't have control here. We got the buttons, we push them. So learn from us to come here and support us. If you're in favor of what we do, we need more advocacy and prevent the $30 billion of being gutted.
Next speaker, please.
Thank you again, Arnold Sachs. I was going to mention the fair political practices. I would suggest you check Garcetti versus Ceballos, 2008, a Supreme Court hearing. Mentioned that government can lie if it's in their best interest. They can lie to everyone, though. Not just any one particular person. They can lie to employees. They can lie to stakeholders. They can lie to everyone. 6 times 12. How about that? By the way, DHS is making $20 million a month on enrollees from LA Care. $240 million for DHS in the health care program, and nobody seems to know where any of that money went to. You're breaking the rules, Ms. Hahn. We were supposed to get the full-time, 6 minutes, whatever. County council. By the way, I had an oldie but goodie. You know the difference between a mistake.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, somebody's minute is going. Go ahead, your minute is going.
Just walk up.
Okay, start her time over, because she didn't get. Okay, go ahead,
My
welcome.
name is Demetria, and I'm from Palmdale, California. And I was wanting to find out if there's anyone here that could help me to help LA Care to adhere to their mission statement.
Yeah, we will have someone come down. Eric Matos or Anna, you can, Eric, we'll have someone come and talk to you. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Okay, my name is Angela Pearson. My own personal perspective with the LA Care mission statement, basically, I'm a RAC member. I've been a RAC member since 2009. A member of the ECAC. I'm a chair, and I'm also a health promoter. And I have absolutely no idea for how long, because I've had brain surgery. 2010. Okay, and I was forced to sign a contract with no ADA rights, basically stating that I have to be there 90% of the time, or make it up in any type of way that I possibly can, even if I have a doctor's notice, even if I am disabled, even if I have another brain surgery, which I have to have, and that staff is making it so that I am so sick now. I'm having grand mal seizures during the ECAC meeting when I'm sitting down in my own chair. Okay? So it's very serious what LA Care is doing, and I need help too. How can I get that?
Okay, thank you. Can someone, where are you from?
Santa Monica, but Mark Woodley Thomas is on the BOG with
Okay, can somebody meet her down in the front row and see if they can help her? Thank you. Okay, we need to call some more members.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would the following individuals please come forward? Jose Martinez, Kim Gee, Larry Laven, Lydia Ponce, Michael Minjavar, Oscar Zarate, Reverend Dr. Mela Desire, Richard Coleman Jr., Roy, Sylvia Cabrera, Valerie Coleman, Espio Reyes, Wayne Spindler, and Carter Tanel. Please come forward.
Okay, go ahead.
George Rossetti, 54-year civil rights leader. This is not a family-friendly place, it's a family-killing place. Mark Richard Thomas is a piece of garbage. He doesn't even protect his own constituents within the law. Nor does anybody else that supposedly represents me like Karen Bass. Oh, is she in a pile of trash? And this idiot over here, Sheila Fuel, thinks she knows the law. Anytime, Sheila, in public, one-on-one, you stupid idiot. Because you do nothing but break the law, you, and Janice Hahn. I'm going to bring a tape recorder in here, and I'm going to play your office saying you're going to give me my information, huh? Which puts how many people in jail? Because you're protecting real lawbreakers. And you see this right here? This is a bill of fine. It's your stupid mental health and health people. You're idiots. When you put me in there illegally, you, the board, all of you,
Okay, next
elevated felony on
Next
me.
speaker, please.
Honorable Board of Supervisors, my name is Larry Latham from Encino. Rights not recognized. Mental health court and the psychiatrist do not recognize a person's constitutional rights. Rights like the right to bail and the right to a trial after being arrested. Like when placed on a hold in accordance with California Welfare and Institution Code Section 5150, where one is considered guilty because he or she was arrested. A person need not plead not guilty by means of insanity. The police just put the defendant into the mental health system, even if the defendant protests and the defendant's constitutional rights are gone. Fortunately, we are protected by the 9th Amendment. 9th Amendment. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. In other words, you cannot interpret one constitutional right to the degree that it infringes upon another constitutional right, the mental health court and the psychiatrist do. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Dr. Kinkinji. I'm a neurologist, and I'm here in my capacity as the chair of the Political and Elections Committee of this Colors
Good job, man. One way or another, you know what?
Resolution that was passed
I really admire you.
with acclamation on
I really do.
Whereas the Inglewood oil field is the largest urban oil field in the United States, in operation since 1924, elderly with problematic incidents such as the bursting of the Baldwin Hills Dam in 1963 due to fluid injection too close to the dam. This resulted in the release of billions of gallons of water, resulting in 5 deaths and destruction of 200 homes. This oil field abuts the communities of Inglewood, Culver City, Windsor Hills, Baldwin Village, Russell Lake College, and Los Angeles County. You already have copies of my resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, the person I came to address, she just walked from my podium, so I can go until she retires.
No, go ahead. No, your time is right now.
So, where's Mary living? She seems to walk away every time I begin to address this issue. My issue is regarding Kent Summer. He falsified the case under my name. I don't have 1 minute. It started at 48 seconds.
No. It started at 1. Keep going.
I do not have my response from you. I met with you. You've ignored my matter regarding her office. Kent Summer, filing charges against African-American men. You've ignored my matter. Your chief of staff has not responded to me since February 5th when I emailed him. And I don't understand why you keep ignoring the matters of African-American men being falsely accused of crimes when the judge verbatimly stated this is a serious issue, and Kent Summer admitted on the record, I know I was not supposed to. What's so funny about this, Mr. Tom? I'm just smiling when I'm speaking about a serious issue. He stated that he knew I was never at the location, but he wanted to get me in the courtroom. And I come here to see smiles from people. That's a very serious issue. He's still employed by the county.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
And that's all you said.
I was almost falsely arrested, and that was at the Music Center, Grand Park, Block 1. And I had Sergeant Nakamura and Reginald Tate, Deputies Reginald Tate, Deputy Rodriguez, and Deputy Sandoval. And officers, security officers, female Mejia, female Hernandez, Angel, and the housekeeper Carlos. Extend out of the female's bathroom. I have, as you all know, gang stalkers. This happened to be a nigger gang stalker who's been stalking me for over 1 year and a half. Yeah, Sheila Q, over 1 year and a half, yeah. And you ain't a gang stalker, please stay and tell me what the fuck I can't say. You a fucking desire, you fucking let's go.
Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please. Please escort her away. Please escort her out of the auditorium. Thank you. Please. Okay, next speaker, please.
Yeah, the fucking niggers drive your ass out, but you can't say it because you're a Mexican.
All right.
Yeah, you fucking white trash.
Okay, you get a minute.
That is right, enough! 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 Get out! A little too much disruption here.
My name, they're not going to talk like this because it's very, no. Start over. Okay, wait. Calm down, everybody. Everybody calm down. Not helping. She's being escorted out. I asked her to.
The niggers kill us, and we get no protection. The niggers kill us, but we get no protection.
Okay.
The white guys kill us, we get no protection. They urinate on our tents. They urinate on our tents.
All right. My name is Valerie Coleman. This is my husband.
Hey, Antonia, let's get together. I'm going to go video this stuff downtown, okay? And who the hell are you, bud? Huh? What's your name, bud? What's your name, bud? What's your name, bud? What's your name, bud? What's your name, bud?
Nothing to do with it because
You punk.
we were threatened for our baby. We only had him 6 days, and they held my baby because they said something about sexual abuse. I didn't even read the warrant. Look, I made attempts to try to, inside of the CPS office, I made attempts to try to contact the board, and the office had directed me right back. The number that I need help, I need a detective or somebody, is 702-854-8869, because we're poor, we don't have the money to pay.
Can I ask you where you live?
Huh?
Where do you live?
We live in Los Angeles, we're homeless, but, we stay in hotels and stuff like that.
Okay, is there someone that could meet them on the front row and see if we can help
Can I
you?
just sum it up really quick?
No, your time's up.
Your
Your time's up, sorry. But so go sit down on the front row, maybe someone will come and see if they can help you further. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Herman, what's up with them?
Antonia Ramirez issue here with Ridley.
Hi, my name is Ezekiel Reyes. Humane, equality, peer-to-peer interactions, all reasonable concepts and capable of bringing to light many issues in more than one way. Homelessness is that in which encompasses many challenging circumstances not yet fully understood by many that never have had to deal with the endeavors firsthand. PTSD can lead to many inner problems for anyone that finds themselves in challenging circumstances for any given time. The lack of food is helping accelerate this issue, and the lack of funds simultaneously, because I guess they're both connected. Unfortunately, if we're going to be trying to help stop this for the future, it's best if we actually do something about the issue now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Just despicable conduct by Sheila Fields. You take and taunt somebody, and then they report them up on another meeting for force and telling authority. Look at these armed bandits. They're all over the place. What's going on? Yeah, I think Sheriff being the one who's got a point. I think there's a lot of sacrifice going on. in his leadership. I think you got his people being misused, and I think Mary Wickham telling him to hire a private attorney to do his job, yeah, I don't think that's right. You know, she's in the paper today insinuating that our elected sheriff is causing this to happen around the phone. So I support my sheriff. He won the election. Get off his ass and let him do his job. And number two, if you want to have a verbal battle with somebody, make it a two-way conversation. Not I speak to you and I take police officers and I
Thank you.
civil
Next
rights
speaker,
to
please.
a fuel.
Next speaker, please, Dr. Mel Desire. Go ahead. Wayne. Please, go ahead.
You know what that
Go ahead.
lady like that.
No, we're listening.
You know what that does to her. She told us that she's hurting.
We're listening to you.
Okay, so can you just restart it, because it's not fair, let's go, just 30 seconds.
Go ahead.
So we're at Helen Keller Park, April 20th, we had a rinky-dink stage from Limerick Park. Probation gave $1 million for these events. Why our kids in South LA, especially for the Parks After Dark event, have less than? We even included vegan tacos that we serve, $1,500 worth. We serve for free and we still didn't get paid for it by the county as a vendor. So when are you guys going to be honest? We're even paying, with even providing the kids with a stage, with
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Wow.
All the, oh no, James. Okay. James.
Oh my God, Christopher Reeve is not even talking.
Next speaker, please. Welcome, James.
Don't blame him for what they did to you. He's a good man.
I'm just astonished at the degree of protection that you have to surround yourself with these people here. It's a miracle to me to watch it now. I have my own secret, which allows me to escape from insanity. And it's a poem that goes like this: Aquitaine, artistry's family tree tranquility, thrilling me, framing me, breathing poetry, CO2, oxygen. My darling grandmother, Gladys, would say, you know, all of these benefits that are available to us through language should be passed on to the children so that they can step up and say, this is the way it should be, and we pay attention. I love you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you, James. We have one more speaker.
Deborah Elizabeth, please come forward.
Go ahead.
Hello, how are you doing? My name is Deborah Elizabeth Goucher-Mances, and I have taken the state of California and also the United States as a Native Indian American to court. And I don't know what it is within the state of California. I'm sleeping on the street for more than 7 years. I started out in Monterey County, and it ended up here in Los Angeles County on a vacation. No one is helping me where I lost my home in Monterey County. That's number one. All of these groups and organizations that they say that they have to help the homeless, they have done nothing. Then it comes to the Attorney General's office. I lost $165,000 in court right here at Shannon Loss with a paralegal that was not supposed to be in court in the first place. So I would like to know, who do I have to have to assist me with housing and getting my $165,000 back that the paralegal cost me. She worked for the Attorney General's office, but she was not an attorney.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other speakers? Okay, that concludes the opportunity.
That's the end of that.
Public